Everyone loves grabbing a drink with friends. Well, just imagine that you're being followed by a creepy stranger the entire time. This person will track and record where you go, what you buy, who you're with. Hopefully you find this a creepy scenario. This is exactly what happens when you go online. Governments and commercial websites are monitoring what you do. Luckily, there are a few simple steps you can take to protect your information online. 1. Get acquainted with your tracking cookies, and 2. Get educated about CISPA. When people talk about internet privacy, they usually choose to talk about tracking cookies. They're not as delicious as they sound. Cookies allow you to automatically log into the websites you visit frequently. Certain cookies, called tracking cookies, also store your history data. The sites you visit online are kept in these cookies. This information is usually used for targeted advertising, but many question how much more data is actually stored and used. In 2011, Facebook was sued for its use of tracking cookies. PC Magazine points out Facebook's unusual ability to monitor user activity through cookies even after you log out of the site. The lawsuit claims that using cookies without user authorization is in violation of the Federal Computer Fraud and Abuse Act.
Not only is your every move on Facebook now being posted for your friends to see, but Facebook might still be watching even after you log out. Your browsing activity is still being tracked.
It seems like the biggest companies in the world have been sued on these grounds. Google, Apple, and Microsoft have all been accused of distributing personal data without permission. Look, a lot of people our age might say, I don't really care if this doesn't apply to me, and I want to have tracking cookies because they make surfing the internet easy. Well, let's just imagine that Obama and Mark Zuckerberg and Sergey Brin are all best friends sharing a fifth of Jack Daniels, using binoculars to look through your window to watch what you're doing on the internet. It's the same thing. That's creepy any way you look at it. The issue of internet privacy is also a highly political one. Ironically, most Facebook users probably remember the public outcry over SOPA 2 years ago. SOPA's newer counterpart is CISPA. The backlash against SOPA and CISPA points to the controversial nature of privacy and online information sharing. CISPA, the Cyber Intelligence Sharing and Protection Act, is a law that proposes that the government and technology companies share access to internet traffic information. The aim of the bill is to protect networks against cyber attacks. Not surprisingly, Microsoft, Facebook, and Apple are among the corporations that favor CISPA. They see it as an easy way to coordinate with the government on policing cyber threats. However, CISPA is yet another piece of legislation that threatens information security online, as Dan Gilmore of The Guardian explains. CISPA overrides existing privacy law and grants broad immunities to participating companies. If a company sends information about a user that is not cyber threat information, the government agency does not notify the user, only the company. So, we won't know when and how these entities are using our personal information. Despite the threats that legislation like CISPA pose, the bill passed in the House of Representatives this April. Luckily, it stalled in the Senate, but legislators are still attempting to revive the bill. This CISPA revival is being not so lovingly called Zombie CISPA. I'll call it CISPA 2.0. So, how can we fight CISPA 2.0? As described by the UK Information Commissioner's Office, all major browsers have cookie controls. These features allow you to view, delete, or block cookies completely. This will require that you log in even when visiting familiar sites. Additionally, some functions like shopping carts may not work properly. If these expedient features are important to you, just use cookie controls to strike the perfect balance between your convenience and information privacy. CISPA may have stalled in the Senate, but as of late October, TheVerge.com reported that 2 senators are attempting to rewrite and revive the bill. Senator Dianna Feinstein's office explains the new bill. The goal is to allow and encourage the sharing only of information related to identifying and protecting against cyber threats, and not the communications and commerce of Americans. Just like tracking cookies, CISPA 2.0 isn't as great as it sounds. As you may know, there was a recent leak of classified NSA information. Some of this information was clearly collected from private citizens without their knowledge. One document from 2011 records a program to collect information that could track mobile phone users. The truth of the matter is that CISPA is worrisome, even with revisions or limited power. The NSA actually called for the bill before the leaks happened, ironically underscoring just how much information they actually have on us. In summary, internet privacy is a pertinent issue because we simply don't know what governments and commercial websites are doing with our personal information. They get it through tracking cookies, so 1, just make sure that you're on top of your tracking cookies. Every browser has an easy way to deal with this. And 2, pay attention to CISPA's revival. If it comes back, you should know about it. That way, if we're educated and we know what to do, we can keep our personal information private, as it should be.